In continuation with the topic that is engineering curves, in this particular session, we will see the construction procedure for cycloid. And first, we will see what is cycloid. So, cycloid is a path traced out by a point of the circumference of a circle when it rolls on a straight line without slipping and sliding. Right? In this figure or in this animation, you can see that a circle is rolling on a straight line and path is traced out by a fixed point which is on the circumference of a circle. Okay? So that path is known as the cycloid. The circle which rolls on a straight line is called a generating circle. So this circle which is rolling on a straight line is called as generating circle. And the line on which circle rolls is called a directing line. So this horizontal line is called as a directing line. The main application of cycloid is to design a gear tooth profile. Now consider this as a section of a gear tooth profile. The upper portion of a gear tooth profile is known as the addendum. So this gear tooth profile, this portion, addendum portion, that means upper portion of a gear tooth profile is designed by considering the epicycloid. When a generating circle rolls outside the directing circle, then the curve is called as epicycloid. So the upper portion of the gear tooth profile is designed considering epicycloid, while the lower portion of the gear tooth profile means this profile, okay, this portion of the gear tooth profile that is known as the dedendum, that is designed by considering the hypocycloid. So hypocycloid is the curve which is generated when a generating circle rolls inside the directing circle. So mainly these cycloids are commonly used in kinematics and mechanism that works with the rolling contact. See, the special application is for the design of a gear tooth profile. Now we will see the construction. So first you have to draw a generating circle of a given diameter, say dmm. Okay. Now draw a directing line from any point P on the circumference of a generating circle of length equal to pi into d. Means the length of the directing circle that is equal to circumference of the generating circle. Okay. So from any point P, draw one directing line, okay, of length pi into d. Now divide the generating circle into any number of equal parts. Here I have considered the 8 equal parts. So divide the generating circle into 8 equal parts. Now as this circle, generating circle, rolls on a directing line, P will move in clockwise direction. So we will follow the same direction for numbering the division of the circumference. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in clockwise direction. Okay. Now divide the directing line into same number of equal parts. So here generating circle is divided into 8 equal parts. So you have to divide the directing line, okay, of length pi into d into 8 equal parts. Again numbering them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 equal parts of directing line. C is the center point of the generating circle. Now as this generating circle rolls on a straight line, the center of circle will move on a line that is parallel to the directing line. Okay? The line on which the center of generating circle move, that is known as the locus of center of generating circle. So draw a line from the center of generating circle, that means from the point C. So this line is nothing but the locus of center on which the point C will move when this generating circle rolls on directing line. So divide locus of center of circle into 8 equal parts, that is same as the number of parts of directing line. So from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 transfer the division on locus of center. So we will get C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, C7, C8 on locus of center. So the points C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, C7 and C8 are different positions of the centers when this generating circle rolls on a directing line. Now draw lines from the points of the circumference of a generating circle. That means from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parallel to the locus of center or parallel to the directing line. Now consider the rolling of the generating circle and consider that as the generating circle rolls and reaches the center position C1, means point C will move to C1, then the position of generating circle is like this. Okay. So during this movement from P or from C to C1, point P will move in clockwise direction and reaches the point 1. As the generating circle rolls towards the right hand side, the point on the circumference of the generating circle, that is point P, will move in clockwise direction. Means at the position of generating circle at C1, center point C to C1, the point will be at a new position, that is P1. Okay. So how to obtain that P1 position? When the generating circle reaches the position at C1. So for that, C1 as a center, radius equal to d by 2 and draw an arc on line passing through 1. Okay. So this way you will get the point P1, which is the new position of point P when generating circle rolls on a directing line and reaches the new position at C1. Okay. So to obtain P1, what you have to do? C1 as a center and draw an arc of radius equal to by 2 and draw an arc on line passing through 1. Okay. So this way you can obtain the point P1. Okay. Now next, now consider further movement of the generating circle and reaches the new position at the center point C2. So this one is the new position of the generating circle. Now point P will move further and will reaches the position or line passing through point 2. Now as generating circle rolls towards right and the point of the circumference of the generating circle, that point P, will move in continuously in clockwise direction and reaches to the new position, that is at point P2. Means to obtain point P2, you have to consider C2 as a center and radius equal to d by 2 and you have to mark arc on line passing through point 2. So you can obtain the new position of point P, that is P2. As the rolling is continue, so new position of the generating circle at center point C3, we can obtain in similar way point P3, means C3 as a center, radius equal to d by 2, and draw an arc on line passing through point 3. So we can obtain point P3. Means to obtain point P3, C3 as a center, draw an arc of radius equal to d by 2 on the line passing through point 3. Rolling is continue, generating circle approaches the center point C4, and point P will move in clockwise direction, and that reaches to the topmost position, that is at point P4. So P4 can be obtained by considering C4 as a center and radius equal to d by 2, and draw an arc passing through line 4. Continuous rolling C5, now C5 as a center, radius equal to d by 2, draw an arc on line passing through point 5, we will get point P5. Now C6 as a center, draw an arc of radius equal to d by 2 on line passing through point 6, so we can obtain point P6. Similar way, we can also obtain point P7. So P7 is obtained by considering C7 as a center, radius equal to d by 2, okay, and arc on line passing through point 7. Okay, and at the position C8, the point P will reaches to its original position, that is at the bottommost position on the circumference of the circle. So this way C8 as a center, arc equal to d by 2, and arc on line passing through point 8. So we can obtain point P8. So now we have obtained P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, P7, P8. These are the different position of point P when the generating circle rolls on a directing line. Okay. So line joining all this point with a smooth curve, that is line joining point P, P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, P7, P8 is nothing but the cycloid of a circle when it rolls on a directing line. So this is the construction procedure of a cycloid. Now we will see how to draw normal and tangent to the cycloid at any given point S. So first mark that point S at the given position on the cycloid. So here point S is marked on the cycloid. Now from this point S, draw an arc of radius equal to d by 2. That is the radius of the generating circle on locus of center. Okay, so we can obtain the point CS. Now from CS, draw a perpendicular line on directing line. Okay, and from this point, which is on the directing line, draw a line passing through point S. That will give you the normal to the point S, which is on the cycloid. And as we know that normal and tangent are perpendicular, so from point S, draw a line perpendicular to the normal NN, that will give you the tangent TT. This way we can draw the normal and tangent at any given point on this cycloid. So this is the construction procedure of cycloid as well as procedure to draw normal and tangent to the cycloid at any given point S.